It's Thursday.
I hope you can get them next week.
Okay, fam, who is this?
I don't know. Who am I?
I don't know. Is that Phantom and Fam?
Could it be?
I think so. What's going on? How are you doing today?
I am doing good. How are you?
I'm cold.
Well, yeah.
It's really cold. What's this weather? It's crazy.
Yesterday was in Mass, like where I live, it was 63.
It was 71 degrees yesterday in the Bronx.
And then today?
It's like, brr. But that's how people get sick. But guys, I got a video for y'all. As y'all know, Phantom and Fam is my sister, and her firstborn was. Hey, fam. Yeah, that was my nephew who you heard in the background. I had to put that on pause because he has an Audi and he's driving her crazy, y'all. So today's subject is gonna be based on my oldest nephew. He was born with some problems, and my sister Patty is gonna tell you, what he was born with and like what he had to go through. So take it away, sis.
Okay, so my firstborn, who was born on May 12th. All right, hold on. May 12th, 96. Sorry, I had a brain fart.
Yeah, that was a big brain fart, girl.
And everything, went like smooth during the pregnancy, the ultrasounds and things like that. Nothing was ever questioned during that time. And then I had him, and when I had him on May 12th of 96, I actually had him on Mother's Day. So he was my very first born on Mother's Day.
Special.
What a blessing that was. Best Mother's Day present that I could have ever have asked for. Shortly after he was born, he began to yawn a lot. He wasn't eating. So they took him to the NICU. They did some tests, and they said he had a heart murmur, and they thought possibly he had pneumonia. Okay, so at the time, it was like the hospital that I had him at was like a smaller hospital. They didn't really have.
Well, it was kind of.
Go.
Okay, so the hospital that I had him at was like a smaller hospital. They didn't really have like a big NICU or anything like that. So they transported him from the smaller hospital where he was born to a hospital that had, more state-of-the-art technology. I was advised to go home during his transport because it would probably be a while before he got there. He got settled in, and they were able to run tests on him. So on my drive home, I got a call immediately saying you need to get to the hospital. So I said, okay, get to the hospital, sit down with the cardiologist, and she begins to tell me that my son was diagnosed with hypo-plastic left heart syndrome.
And what is that?
So essentially what that is the left side of his heart it means it's either small or it didn't grow. So basically it does not function. So he functions with everything on the right side of the heart. So the right side of the heart does everything for his body, with the blood flow, the intake, and the outtake. So, however, it's not that easy. And when I say that, so when we got the diagnosis, they had to keep him alive by medications, and from then, after they explained everything to us, he was then transported to Boston Children's Hospital, where then he would undergo his very first open heart surgery at 4 days old. So if a child is born with this condition, and initially the options, because now we're going back, Brandon's going to be almost 26, so we're going back 26 years. So the option was compassionate care, so basically you take your child home to pass, or you could do the treatment, but they don't really know how successful the treatment is because the oldest child that had what my son had is probably maybe 8 years older than him. So there wasn't a whole lot of research involved. But when you weigh your options, I'm like, okay, well, we have to at least try to go ahead and move forward with the surgery, because really that's our only option. Because taking him home to pass away was not an option for me. So
No.
So at 4 days old, he had his first open heart surgery. He did very well. We were in the hospital probably 2 months, just to kind of get him like stabilized. And there was a lot that I needed to learn, because being a new mother is difficult enough, let alone having a child that has a disability and a very severe heart condition. There was so many things that I needed to learn before I could take him home. So finally at 2 months old, I was able to take him home. We followed up with the cardiologist. And then at 5 months old, we needed to go back to Boston again. And then he underwent his second open heart surgery.
Oh my God, poor kid.
So we, he had his second open heart surgery. He did not do that well.
What do you mean?
He was very, very sick. And they had to go back in. Surgery was very long. But finally, everything kind of, worked out. He was stable enough. He came home. He continued to thrive, follow up with the cardiologist. At the time, it was probably every 3 or 4 months, and then it went to every 6 months, and now he follows up yearly.
He's not able. Is he able to get a new heart? Like a heart transplant? Like a whole heart?
No. He is not.
He don't qualify or something?
No, he does not. He does not qualify for that.
But
because the surgeries that they did, it's called the Norwood procedures, and he has been very successful with these surgeries. So he is not even a candidate for a heart transplant, because he's actually done very, very well with his surgeries.
Oh.
So, for the first couple of years, he was, thriving, and he was doing phenomenal. He was thriving, he was doing great. And then at 3 years old, we needed to now do his very last planned, open heart surgery, which by far was the biggest surgery yet.
Really? What do you mean?
It was the biggest surgery in the sense where they were, putting in the bigger shunt and closing off a lot of collateral. So it was more invasive, more things that needed to be done with this surgery.
So he has a half a heart, am I correct?
Correct.
And then the other half is just empty? Or do they have something there to help him?
No, there's nothing there. It never grew. His left side never grew. So essentially, and putting it just in layman's terms, the right side of his heart does everything for him.
So how many surgeries he's 25 now, Brandon.
Yeah.
And so how many surgeries has he had since then till now?
He's had 3 open heart surgeries.
God bless him.
His last surgery, like I said, was the hardest. He's had to go in for cardiac MRIs. He had to go into the cath lab, where they had to go into the groin, up into your heart, and check his pressures from the heart and the lungs and things like that. But 3 actually open heart surgeries.
Oh my God.
And then many little things along the way. The third one, I actually was 4 months pregnant with my second child when he had his last surgery. And I almost lost him with his last surgery. That was by far the most difficult. He had all this uncontrolled like bleeding. They didn't know where it was coming from.
Oh my God.
I wasn't able to eat. I ended up like passing out. They wanted to send me to Brigham and Women's Hospital. I did go there to go get checked out. They wanted to admit me. I said absolutely not, because here, you know, my child was in the hospital fighting for his life. I'm like, I have to be there with him.
Right.
Mind you, because I was like 2 hours from home.
You're so strong.
We would have family come to visit, but it's not like, you know, people were there all the time with me because people had to still go to work and life had to go on.
Well, as you all know, Patty is my god sister. Her, you know, you all know that her father was my godfather, and she found me a couple years ago. But when she first told me, you know, about him, like I broke down, like, wow, are you serious? And he just finally showed me after, you found me, 7-8 years ago? Yeah. I just seen the other day on Messenger his scars. And that boy has been through so fucking much. He has so many blessings and so many more to come. You know, and you're an excellent mom.
Thank you. It's been a very long journey for us. It really has. But to see him strive the way he has and meet all like his milestones and I mean everything that they possibly could have imagined for him, he's done phenomenal. And this is a very complex, severe heart condition. And again, I'm going to tell you the name if you guys want to like Google it. You can like see pictures. You can read about it in more like medical terms, but it's hypo-plastic left heart syndrome.
I'll write it. I'll write it. If anybody wants to know, I'll write it in the description underneath. You know, the title of the video. So, you know, in case if anybody wants to, you know, look it up or something. But this is serious. You know, like
it's very. Yes, it's a very serious, and it's a major congenital heart defect. No, I never knew why I was pregnant. I've had many ultrasounds. They never saw anything out of the ordinary.
And you did all this by yourself, or was his father in the picture?
No, his father was still in the picture. We were still married at the time. But, you know, he would come up when he could, but then he still had to stay back home, you know, to work. Because, you know, even though you're going through this with your kids, you still have bills that, you know,
need to be paid. Yeah, correct.
So, you know, he would come up when he could. Family would come up when they could. But for the most part, like, I was there pretty much by myself night and day.
He has a big guardian angel on his side, and I really think that's Unc.
Yeah.
I really think that's my godfather that's there with him, you know. But I want to, you know, tell you thank you for telling us this story. It's amazing to know that what you went through, and I've never heard of this until my sister told me about this, you know.
You know what, though? Like, I never heard of it. And when they gave me the diagnosis, computers weren't like a huge thing either.
No.
And there weren't like support groups, and there was nobody to turn to. So you feel like you're the only one going through this at the time. Because like I said, I mean, we're going back almost 26 years.
Right.
So even though technology, you know, was there, it's nowhere near where it is today. And today there's a lot of, you know, support groups. And I did eventually find a support group when Brandon was...
What?
So when Brandon was, I want to say 3 or 4... No, I must have been about 3 years old. I did find a support group through Boston Children's who was not so much local, but closer to home.
Yeah.
And we would like meet like once a year, and we would have like picnics and activities and kind of you know, discuss how everybody, kids doing and treatments and things like that. So it was a really great support group. But you know, for 3 years I didn't have that support group. So being a very young mother, I was only 21 when I had him.
Right.
And kind of learning about this very complex heart condition, it was a lot until I found the support group. And it was still a lot, but knowing that I also had other people in the same boat as me.
You're so blessed, though, you know?
Turn to and who understood everything, it made going through his treatments a little bit better at the end of the day.
When you have a good support system behind you, it helps you get through. It really do.
Absolutely.
You know how my channel is based on me being HIV positive. You know, I get a lot of backlash from my family. Why would you put your business out there? And I do it because I know that I'm gonna be able to help somebody else.
But it's educating people, and if we can help somebody,
amen.
Like now a young mother perhaps who just found out that their child now has a diagnosis with HLHS, you know, they can contact me. There's hope. Like Brandon's going to be 26 years old. Like there's hope, and technology is a heck of a lot better today than
amen about that. Amen.
So,
but we really want to say thank you so much for explaining us, you know, to us what was wrong with your first baby. I really want to say God bless you. God bless your whole family. God bless him definitely. And he's a strong boy, y'all. He works very hard to be able to succeed.
About like his condition, or just kind of want to know like a day in his life, or you know, things like that, you know, feel free to like write the comments and, you know, answer them.
I love the comments because, you know, I get so many different kind of comments. You'd be surprised, you know. Yeah. But thank you so much for sharing. Like I said, like, subscribe, tell your friends, your family about my channel. And, you know, and make sure you hit that notification bell when you want to be notified when Heather always puts up a video. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching. Peace. God bless.